Welcome, I am Rail Zeeb and your host for Keep Traveling Your African Vacation, the only podcast which brings you insightful information in the African tourism industry by real tourism professionals. Today is our 20th episode and I have the pleasure of introducing Susana Vidal, who's General Manager at the Bahia Club in Mozambique. Susana, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
It's a pleasure having you. I'm very jealous of where you are. I've been to Vilanculos a couple of times, so I know why you've got a big smile on your face. And I can see that the listeners won't be able to see, but I can see you ready to get into the pool later on.
Every day.
Susana, for our international listeners, tell us the easiest way to get to the Bahia Club in Vilanculos.
We are located in Vilanculos, so it's south of Mozambique. And we're very lucky to have international airport based here, 10 minutes from the hotel. So we get the flights that come from Johannesburg every day at the same time. And when it's peak season, we can even have 2 flights a day. So I definitely recommend Airlink to fly directly from Johannesburg into Vilanculos.
Okay, so Airlink is flying in and LAM as well. They also got regular flights?
LAM, they have regular flights from Maputo, but it's very unpredictable. Sometimes they come, other times they don't come. They're not so reliable. They can still fly from Maputo here, but we try to recommend Airlink. It's more reliable, I would say.
Tell me a little bit more about the actual property.
Yes, so we opened 10 years ago. We have this beautiful ocean rooms with this beautiful view to the islands, Maserutu Islands. So we have this amazing national park, marine national park right in front of us. Beautiful corals for snorkeling, scuba diving. So it's basically our rooms, they face the ocean and they have this beautiful tidal view. So it's very tidal, it's a lagoon. So we see the sandbanks going out and on the low tides.
For guests that are coming there, what activities would you be able to put on for them during their stay?
So they can do the scuba diving, as I said, it's very big in this area, the snorkeling. They can do the sea safaris where they see amazing sea life that we have here. We have different species of dolphins, manta ray. We even have the dugong. It's the last population on the Indian Ocean, the dugong. It's this beautiful marine mammals. They really, in the beginning when I moved here 15 years ago, they were quite rare to see, but it's interesting to see that they're more and more comfortable with the tourists. So there's very high probability of seeing them when we go out on a tour. And then there's some sports like kite surfing, kayaking, canoeing in the rivers, because even the bush, it's really beautiful around Vilanculos. And there's also those cultural tours that you can go to the market and know a little bit of history of Vilanculos, of Mozambique. You can go on a tuk-tuk. It's very rich in terms of culture. The food, all the Mozambican dishes are just absolutely amazing. If you are here for 5 or 6 days, you have a lot to do. You don't get bored, that's for sure. And then in the hotel, we have a spa. We're very focused on wellness. We have a wellness center with a gym with professionals that can support our guests into all moments of relaxation if they want to get into fitness. We also develop different retreats, yoga retreats. We have different yoga teachers, wellness with detox. So the hotel in itself has a lot of activities.
I just want to touch on, you spoke about the tours inland. We know that you had general elections, I think it was in October 2024. The media seemed to enjoy only putting out the bad news all the time and making things a little bit scary. But from the smile on your face, I can see you're not too scared. So can you alleviate any worries that international guests might have about traveling to Mozambique and what they can or cannot expect to come across?
Yeah, it was a dark moment. I'm not saying that it was not scary. It was a bit dark because there was some protests on the streets, on the roads. So if you're traveling by road, it's more complicated. It was more concentrated in Maputo, the big city of Maputo, the capital. We got maybe one day there was some protests, but it was not violent. We didn't feel violence. We are 10 hours driving from the capital, from Maputo, so we are far. And so thank God it was was over. So it was about 3 or 4 months of a bit of uncertainty. But in the beginning of March, the opposition and the new president, they shake their hands and they found an agreement. And now slowly we find that our lives are back to normal. So at the moment, there's absolutely no tension or anything in the air. Everything is back to normal.
And you were talking about your son, that you stole his headphones today. So you obviously feel no threat to have your family close by and your kids and that type of thing. So you feel completely comfortable, and you could reassure any guests looking to travel to Mozambique that coming to Vilanculos, they're going to feel very comfortable, right?
Yes, absolutely. Completely. 200%. And it's a good time. It's not so busy at the moment. So this is the best time to go out to the ocean and see all this amazing sea life out there. We're going to come into winter. So the whales are arriving. We have the humpback whales arriving around June. They come here, they have their babies, and then they go back south. So it's a really incredible experience to see the moms with the babies so close to us. Yeah, it's a very special destination, absolutely.
And you spoke about that you're in a national park. So is the national park well policed and protected from poachers, people taking things out of the sea that they shouldn't be taking, all that kind of stuff? Is it well policed by the government?
At the moment, we have African parks, and they brought a really good support to the national park here. They work with the government, but it's an international organization. So they're doing a really incredible work, and there's so much work still to do. But I think we just gain with their presence since they came here a few years ago.
I know of African parks. I know that they're doing an incredible job also in Zimbabwe, all over the African continent. Kudos to them, and I'd love to be able to support them as well. So I have asked them to come on the show, but I haven't quite got to the right person yet. So I'll keep pushing that. Susana, tell me a little bit about the staff complement that you have and what you're doing to help bring younger staff through the system. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
When we opened 10 years ago, so the owner of Bahia is Mozambican. My background is actually marine biology. So I have a master's in responsible tourism and development of coastal areas. And when we worked together, when we met each other, he said that we really wanted to create a very special hotel that could actually bring all the benefits to the community. Being Mozambican, he has that in his blood. So basically, all our work is focused in, is it going to bring good for the community? Is it going to bring development? Is it going to help our projects, our community projects? So all our focus and all our work is around that. We are the only hotel at the moment in Mozambique to be certified by Fair Trade Tourism. So we have to follow a system of guidelines that can give us that certification. The staff is all from Vilanculos. They are trained from the scratch. There's a lot of work involved in training, and even in the areas of conservation, in the areas of what is responsible tourism, of management, even the resources. There's a lot of training behind with all the staff. That's most of our work, definitely.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about energy supply. Do you run off the national grid? Is it reliable enough, or are you producing any of your own energy that you use up at the club?
Not yet. We don't have solar yet. It's in our projects. It's in our vision. But at the moment, we run with the main grid. The electricity is provided by EDM. It's been reliable. It's been getting better and better slowly. 10 years ago was much more difficult. So we feel that they're getting better and better. But with time, what we're going to do, because the quote to transform, we have 22 rooms, a really big area, a spa, a gym. So it's a really big area to be sustainable on solar. And all the quotes that I got, all the research that I did, it just didn't feel that it was actually sustainable financially for us. So we're doing parts. We're going to start with a couple of rooms and then slowly just spread. We're not going into the whole thing fast. We're going to do baby steps. We have in our plans to develop the glamping side. So it's a kind of an eco area. It's going to be a tented rooms. So very ecological. So we're going to start there. So that is going to be completely off the grid with everything. So it's a kind of an experiment that we're doing. And we're quite excited. We had to stop now because financially we went through this difficult time. But if everything goes well, in the end of the year, we're going to restart. We already built a couple of platforms because it's on platforms. And then in the end, the project is to have 8 rooms, tented rooms, completely off the grid. So slowly we're moving into that direction. But it's challenging. Importing all that material is just so expensive.
I think you're going about it in the right way. I wish you good luck with that. And I don't know if I'll ever be a glamper myself, but I know where you're going with that. So good luck. I'd like to know a little bit more about your background, Susana, where you've come from. You mentioned you have a degree in marine biology, which that's a perfect place where you are now, isn't it? But
Yes.
Give us a little bit of a background where you've come from, especially in the tourism sector, should I say.
I'm from Portugal and I studied marine biology when I was young. And then after marine biology, I did research for many years at the university. And then after that, I started to feel that research was not really my thing. I needed to actually get it out, the message more about what we were studying and everything. And I wanted to be more close to the public because the research, it's very close into the science community. So then I went through tourism. So that's when I find that this is what I love. So I took a master in sustainable development of coastal areas. So pretty much along the pollution and the tourism development and all those areas. It was still related with biology, also pretty much related with the environment and all of those areas. Then I took a post-graduation in sustainable tourism and nature tourism. So that's when I went more into hospitality and what activities can we do? How can we go into responsible tourism? So I fell in love with that. I thought it was really amazing and very exciting. And then Portugal went through a really dark patch with the crash of the pound because Portugal is highly related with the tourism coming from England. And I felt that I had to send my CV out. I sent my CV to all Portuguese-speaking countries. I sent to Brazil. And then Mozambique was the only one that actually I had three proposals for Mozambique. So that was quite exciting. And that's how I landed here. When I arrived here, I was like, oh my God, it was like a dream come true. It's just so amazingly beautiful and so untouched and so raw, and the marine life is absolutely incredible. That's my background. And I speak the language, which is very helpful also.
I'm sure very helpful. I actually did a diploma through Stellenbosch University in South Africa in aquaculture. So I'm not as educated as you, but I do have a very good understanding with aquaculture. And I think today there's more farmed fish that's being eaten than actually naturally caught fish. I don't know if Mozambique does any kind of aquaculture in the sea at the moment. Do you know of anything?
At the moment in this area, no, not in the sea. I'm not sure if down south there's anything or up north, but in this area, definitely I never saw it now.
Now, you've been in the tourism game a certain amount of years. You must have had a particular funny moment, and I'm sure there's probably been many, and you don't have to name any names, but I always like to ask my guests if they can recount a particular event that might have happened to you that you want to share with us that you might have been frightened at the time, but it's something that you can turn around and look at and laugh about today.
We had, in a way, it was very interesting because when we started the project now recently, the expansion of EMR, so we had to do this consultation with the community. So it was really scary to have 50 people from the neighborhood and the chiefs of this neighborhoods, all the neighborhoods here. So I was like the only one like coming from Europe, white woman, and they were talking and you just think that they're all angry and talking loud and everything, and you just start to panic. They're not going to accept us. I must say it was like probably 1 hour that I was like panicking in that meeting and I was not understanding what they were saying. And then in the end, they're just like clapping their hands and jumping out of the table and very happy and dancing. So it was like, at the time was a really, I will never forget because it was just so emotional to see, okay, they love the glamping project that we're going to build. So you have to have their support for this project. You you have to have the support of the community. So I think it's not a funny moment, but for me it was quite intense to be 1 hour in a meeting with them, and then, oh my God, in the end they were not angry. They were just actually with their dialect talking loud and shouting. But yeah, I think for now that's what I remember. I could have prepared myself better for that question.
I'd particularly like to leave that question at the spur of the moment. But an interesting thing that you said there was about the dialects. Is there a huge amount of difference? I'm assuming they all speak some kind of dialect of Portuguese. Is there a huge difference? Can you understand everything yourself?
Not the dialects at all. The older people, they don't even speak Portuguese at all. So only the younger people, the younger generations, maybe my generation, like 40, 50s. But the older ones, they don't speak a perfect Portuguese. I can't understand them and they can't understand me. So there's still some communication barriers sometimes. Even the Portuguese that I speak, sometimes I have to say it 3, 4, 5 times and sometimes I have to put a little bit of a Mozambican accent for them to understand. So yeah, but mainly in this area it's Shitswa, but there are dozens, hundreds of dialects throughout the entire country.
Susana, I know that you and Bahia Mar Club have been very generous in donating a prize giveaway to a lucky listener. Can you tell the listeners in your own words what you're going to be putting out there as a prize giveaway?
We would love to welcome your listeners for a 3-night stay here at Bahia Mar, bed and breakfast. And then I'm sure you're going to come and you don't want to go. You don't want to leave. So you're very welcome to come, bed and breakfast, and stay with us for 3 nights.
Listen, if I give myself the prize, maybe I might just do that. I might just not leave. But yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate that prize, and we're going to put it out there on the social media and through the podcast, etc. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed having you on the show. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you very much. All the best for you and for all the listeners. Thank you very much.
Today I was chatting to Susana Vidal, who is the general manager at the Bahia Mar Club in Mozambique. Do not forget that awesome prize giveaway of a 3-night stay at Bahia Mar in Vilanculos. All entry details can be found in the show notes of this episode, or head over to www.wildsunsets.travel/podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please rate the show on Apple Podcasts or drop me an email. Tune in again next week when we will be chatting to Zofia Dolnikova, who is the general manager of Zuri Zanzibar in Zanzibar. My name is Rael Zeev, and consider this. A few years from now, you will not remember how much it cost you, but you will still remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.